I watched the new Hunger Games movie, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Overall, I think it is a decent movie, and I actually quite like it. I never read the book, so I can't tell you what the differences are. So in this movie, it's a prequel to the previous Hunger Games movies. It's set a long, long time before the first one, and he received like a younger Snow, just attending his first Hunger Games and then matching with his first tribute. I think the acting was solid across the board, especially with the two main leads with Snow, who was played by Tom Blyth, and the tribute star of the movie, Lucy Gray, who's played by Rachel Zegler. I hope I said her name right. The movie is divided into three parts, where parts one and two follows the Snow with his introduction. He was graduating school. You learn about his past, and then him getting involved in his first Hunger Games. Part three is more like the aftermath of that. There were lots of plot throughout the movie, and I thought they were all really interesting. But it felt like they were cramming it all into one movie. And don't get me wrong, I thought everything was super interesting, but I think this movie would have benefited if it was either one longer movie or two separate movies, actually. I remember Hunger Games Mockingjay was split into two, and I remember not liking the second part, even though I loved the first part of it. Because in Mockingjay Part 2, there was barely anything going on, and I got really bored. But in this case, in Songbirds and Snakes, I think that there was so much good plot that I think two movies would have been much better. So this is gonna be a non-spoiler review. I'm not gonna get into like too deep into the details, but there were, important emotional story beats that could have had more breathing room, just to let it marinate more. It was just really nice to see all the characters. You get to know them, not only through dialogue, but you get to see what they were feeling, what was going on through their mind, and especially during the Hunger Games itself, the tribute, there wasn't a lot of talking amongst them since they were all just trying to survive. You could see kind of like what their personality and characters are like through their actions. I thought so. No, I really enjoyed parts one and two. Part three though, that's when the movie that's where the movie went downhill for me. I thought part three was the most rushed, and it felt like it was dragged on. What I mean by this is that in parts one and two, we get to learn a lot about Snow during his younger years. The movie's about him. We know he eventually becomes evil. Parts one and two paints him as a proper layered character. That even though I knew he was gonna be evil, I actually supported Snow as a empathetic protagonist because he was just caring towards his family. He was even caring towards the tributes in general. Well, especially Lucy, but I thought that was pretty obvious. But in part three, Snow does like a full 180 into just being like this evil guy. We had all this development that he does things with a reason and that he's kind of smart and clever as well. But in part three, it's just that development was just like thrown out. It felt really inconsistent, and all of a sudden he starts saying these evil things, and he even no spoilers, he did this really evil thing to one of the people closest to him. How do I describe this? Like a flick of a switch, right? In part three, he just turns from good to evil, and the switch just turns on and off. He would suddenly be good again in the next second, and then be evil again in the second after. It just felt really inconsistent. Also, I just wanted to add on in the Hunger Games, the Jennifer Lawrence one. The games had an MC, a host, kind of. The character was named Caesar Flickerman, and he was played by Stanley Tucci. And so in this new movie, Songbirds and Snakes, they also had an MC for the games, and apparently it's the ancestor to Caesar Flickerman, and I thought they casted Stanley Tucci again, but I actually got someone different. They got Jason Schwartzman, and then all that makeup, he actually looks like Stanley Tucci's Flickerman, which I thought was really cool. Overall, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was worth the watch. I hope this movie does well, even though I think it came out a bit too late. The book came out during COVID, like around 2020, but I think the hype for the Hunger Games franchise and as dystopian young adult stories in general in blockbusters, I think we moved on from that. I like to talk about stuff that I've seen with movies and TV shows. I don't watch a lot anymore, but I think I'm gonna start watching more stuff just so I can enjoy it again and talk about it again. Thank you for watching. Peace.